Jaden Speed joins us now. He is the founder of Young Reports, and he's not kidding, he is young. And he's got a fascinating story to tell us. He also participated in the walkouts today on the issue of gun control. Jaden, welcome to Rebel Headquarters.
Thanks for having me.
Jaden, you got an interesting story about how you came to be a progressive. I want to get to that. I want to talk about what Young Reports does, but first, how old are you?
I'm 13 years old.
13, wonderful. And where exactly do you live?
I live in Nebraska, Nebraska.
Okay, not a hotbed of progressivism from what I take.
No, not at all.
No, not at all, okay. So did you participate in the walkouts today?
Yes, I did.
Now I imagine that it's harder to get a lot of folks to participate in the middle of small town Nebraska. Is that true?
Yes.
So how'd it go today?
We went throughout every single class trying to bring as many people out as possible. At the end of it, we had about 40 kids and about 3 teachers come and join us.
You had 40 kids in the middle of Nebraska in your school.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's pretty good. Did you organize that protest?
I worked with my school administration and we organized a peaceful demonstration we could have at the building.
All right, that's wonderful. And what motivated you to do that?
Well, you look at the events in Parkland and Columbine and Sandy Hook, and you see how many students' lives are at risk. And our lives are at risk too, and we must do everything we can to convince our representatives and to convince the adults to stop arguing, to stop taking NRA money, and to stand up for our lives.
So Jaden, were you always a progressive or did you grow up conservative?
I grew up in what you call establishment Democrat household. We were Democratic, but we were more Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden type of Democrat.
Okay, that's interesting. So what did that mean for your political positions? Did they lean conservative, lean progressive?
I'd say I lean conservative.
Okay, so you're only 13, so it's amazing that you have political positions, let alone the fact that you've changed them. But have you changed any of those positions?
I have. From watching TYT over the past year and a half, you've shown me that progressive is the right way to go. With the corporate Democrats and the corporate Republicans, they will continue to take the money and they don't actually care about the issues we care about.
Okay, well, gratifying to hear that we've had some effect. And do you remember if there was a moment where you thought, wait a minute, I'm not sure that what I've been told is quite the right track?
I'd say I found a TYT clip on YouTube one day. And as soon as I watched that clip, I realized some of the things that our corporate Democrats and the corporate Republicans have told us are not fact. They're giving us whatever information they would like and withholding what they don't want us to see.
Do you remember what the clip was about? What particular issue?
It was right after a police officer shot an unarmed black man.
Yeah, look, by the way, Jaden, you appear to be wise beyond your years. It took me a long time to change. I grew up a Republican, and I, for example, on that issue, I thought, why would the cops ever lie about anything? They're here to protect us. That's because I didn't have the perspective of other people in the country who, in some cases, realized they were not there to protect them. They were there to protect other people. And so the fact that that you've accelerated that process is, of course, in my opinion, wonderful. So then tell me about Young Reports. What is that?
It's a newspaper and podcast that I run. It was inspired by TYT, and our main goal is to educate and to give the real facts that the mainstream media won't give and that our politicians won't tell us.
All right, how much do I love this? Okay, that's fantastic. And how's it going for you?
It's been going great. I think about last month we hit 700 readers on our newspaper, and we're around at 200 views on our podcast.
Oh man, this is how we do the revolution. So
it is.
Yeah, look, you're making a difference, and it's just so gratifying to hear, and really appreciate it. So I read up a little bit on your bio. Again, you're an amazing dude that you already have a bio, but so your family has at times been on hard times. Is that right, Jaden?
Yes, we've experienced it multiple times where we didn't have the appropriate health care that we would need, or we didn't have the government benefits that we would need, mainly because of the Republicans that control the Nebraska legislature and control Nebraska's representation in the US Senate and the US House of Representatives.
And obviously, the value of education was instilled in you because you received the Presidential Academic Excellence Award in the 2016-2017 school year. So, I guess what were those values that you learned that's, have brought you such success?
I've always learned to do research before you believe something. If someone tells you something, make sure you do research and you develop an opinion on your own. Don't let someone else tell you what your opinion is.
Okay, man, I can't wait for guys like you to run the country. And it looks like you might be on your way. So one more thing for you. I know you're really young, but what's your ambition going forward? If things work out well, what would you do?
My plans are to run for the US Senate around the year 2030, and then 2040 is the year I can legally run for president of the United States.
You never know, brother. You never know. I mean, look, I'm not even sure you look 30. You don't act 30. You don't present that way. You appear to be incredibly mature. So if you're making those plans and given what you've already accomplished, I'm not the one to doubt you. So I think I could proudly say, Jaden Speed, you heard him here first on the Young Turks Network, but it won't be the last time. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.